Recently, a startling revelation was revealed in an article. The remarkable 1,427 value of XRP is a milestone that has been ascribed to the possibility of 30% of international banking institutions adopting it. Although 30% may not seem like much at first, it is a sizable chunk of the banking industry. We have all the proof to support the intriguing claim that Ripple is interacting with almost one-third of the world's banks in today's segment. But the question is, are these institutions making the most of Ripple's potential? It doesn't seem to. In our conversation today, we'll go into greater detail on this subject. We'll also look at a recent report that surfaced 2 days ago that suggests Ripple may be about to go public by the end of March. As March draws to a close, this action might propel XRP's price to an all-time high of $8.97 in just over a month. Greetings and welcome back to your one-stop shop for everything XRP. Let's briefly catch up before getting into the main topic of today's article. I need you to do me a little favor. Click like, subscribe, and ring that bell to become a part of our incredible community. It's interesting to note that SBI holdings alone make for around 4% of all worldwide bank deposits. As a result, SBI may eventually account for a sizable 4% of the 30% global banking market and maybe implement Ripple's technology. However, that is only the beginning. Additionally, Ripple has formed a significant alliance in Brazil, launching its on-demand liquidity services alongside the Brazilian central bank. Furthermore, that is only one component of the worldwide jigsaw. In light of our recent talks on the BRICS countries, you may recall from my last video that we examined the direct connections that each of the member nations, China, Brazil, South Africa, Russia, and India, has with Ripple for on-demand liquidity and central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. Approximately 29% of the world's economic production is contributed by the BRICS countries alone as compared to the global GDP. This leads us to a fascinating prospect. The ramifications might be enormous if the BRICS nations opt to work with Ripple as a group. In a previous video, I went into great detail about the viability of integrating CBDCs on the XRP ledger as well as the current processes in place. It is impossible to exaggerate the importance of the XRP ledger in this situation. Because of its crucial role in the developing financial landscape, Ripple's technology has even more promise as we look ahead to the next bull market. After the Fed made a public announcement, the discussion surrounding Ripple's emerging position in financial technology took a dramatic shift. They said that XRP and XLM might be important components of their future FedNow payment system's blockchain base. The Fed highlighted this development and said that the partnership with Metal Blockchain was a crucial step in transforming fiat to stable currencies, successfully bridging the divide between the decentralized financial industry and conventional banking institutions. At the moment, Americans can use digital Bitcoin wallets or third-party apps like Venmo and PayPal to make fast domestic payments. But this scene is about to undergo a revolution thanks to the FedNow service. The platform, which is now in its experimental phase, has already drawn involvement from more than 120 organizations, including well-known brands like US Bank and Exchange Bank, in addition to a range of payment processors and solution providers. This achievement not only demonstrates how blockchain technology is becoming more widely accepted and integrated with traditional financial institutions, but it also represents a turning point in the evolution of traditional banking and the cutting-edge field of decentralized finance. As a pioneer in distributed ledger technology and cross-border payment solutions, Ripple is well positioned to play a significant role in the FedNow program, which is being directed by the Federal Reserve. Similar to this, the FedNow ecosystem is probably going to include Stellar Lumens, which is well known for its blockchain-powered network that simplifies and reduces the cost of international transactions. The story takes an intriguing turn at this point. A headline caught the attention of the financial community just 8 hours ago. In the midst of 30% global bank acceptance, XRP soars to $1,427. It's a noteworthy breakthrough that highlights how blockchain and finance may revolutionize industries. According to the report, 30% of global banks have used XRP for cross-border payments, which is responsible for the startling increase in its value to $1,427. This degree of uptake indicates a huge demand for XRP, which will drive its price to previously unheard-of levels. With a skyrocketing market capitalization, XRP's rise represents not only a victory for Ripple, but also a possible jackpot for investors. The discovery that XRP's market penetration is almost at this 30% mark, suggesting even wider acceptance throughout the global financial landscape, adds depth to the story. 6 days ago, there had been a startling update indicating that XRP transactions would surpass $1.2 quadrillion, which would raise its theoretical price to $10,000. With financial institutions starting to use the XRP ledger and its digital assets more widely, this marks a significant change. Unquestionably, the news has been released. The buyback plan from Ripple is no longer merely conjecture. This reality is developing more quickly than anyone could have predicted. The company that created XRP, Ripple Labs, is actually buying XRP rather than merely considering it. According to a recent source, Ripple begins a significant buyback, retiring nearly 1 billion XRP. This action shows a strong endorsement of XRP's worth and prospects in the financial system. The disclosure that the Federal Reserve is actively interested in using XRP as a pillar of international payment infrastructures rather than merely watching from the sidelines thickens the plot. The ramifications are enormous. Estimates indicate that if XRP is widely adopted by central banks around the world, its value may soar to between $12,000 and $22,000 per coin. This increase in value highlights how XRP has the ability to revolutionize international finance. Furthermore, it has been confirmed that Google's observations support this course, confirming the Federal Reserve's plans to use XRP due to its unmatched potential as a worldwide payment system. This set of events represents a major turning point for XRP and Ripple, putting them at the forefront of financial innovation and possibly changing the face of international payments. Yes, we are going to share these revelations with you after obtaining some explosive leaked documents. The fact that the Fed has had its sights set on XRP for a while is becoming more and more clear. Only a few weeks ago, the Fed reaffirmed its plan to use XRP internationally in accordance with ISO 4217. Originally scheduled to be implemented by the end of 2023, this ambitious plan ran into unforeseen delays that prevented XRP from being widely used as a fully recognized currency right after receiving regulatory approval. The US dollar, the euro, the GBP, and the Canadian dollar are just a few of the main currencies issued by governments and central banks that are mentioned alongside XRP. Additional revelations revealing the Federal Reserve's intentions to aggressively use the XRP digital asset add depth to the story. Google Reader Insights emphasize suggestions made by Kikuchi, a government official who supports the creation of a sidechain using XRPL's public chain. This approach would enable Federal Reserve money to interact directly with advances in the private sector, according to expert KJI, opening the door for hitherto unheard of levels of cooperation and technological development. And this is only the start. The chair of the U.S. Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, has stated that large investments are being made to create new autonomous settlement systems in the U.S., indicating that financial technology and digital assets will undergo a revolutionary phase in the future. Please keep in mind that I do not hold a financial advisor license. These videos' content is solely intended for viewing enjoyment. Before making any financial decisions, I always advise viewers to do their own research and speak with experts. Many thanks for listening. Please remember to hit the subscribe button and give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Additionally, to be the first to know when I post new stuff, make sure you enable the alerts. I can't wait to see you again in the next video.